AFTV, the fans still in good voice, man. Singing, we are top of the league. We are top of the league.
We are top of the league.
Yeah.
We're top of the
8 points
league.
clear.
8 points clear, only 2 off the goal difference. I think City's next game is against Liverpool, so there's absolutely no guarantees that they're going to get the 3 points there. We're at home to Leeds an hour or so afterwards. You'd have to say on form and the way that we're playing in the Premier League that we could be 11 points clear. I mean, we talk about it being a 2-horse race. At the moment, with all respect, it is a 2-horse race. Maybe not when you look at the league table, but when you look at the experiences of the two teams, the fact that City have won it so many times, the depth of squad that City have got. But actually, when you take all that away and you look at the league and forget about the two teams that are actually competing for it, there may be a good argument to say that it's a 1-horse race at the moment. We're galloping away with it.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, because there's a horse coming on the horizon, and you know that horse being ridden by Haaland. You know what I mean? It's a dangerous horse, right? And at any time, if your analogy is good because, we're in the lead, but if we jump a fence and we trip, boom, they'll come and go past us. So this running's going to be really important. And I asked this question the other night. We were all very disappointed leaving the game, but when you woke up the next day and you saw the draw and realised that we would have got Juventus and probably Man United, right? And then you look and you see that, Man City, Champions League draw, they've got a really difficult side of the draw to get through, got to get past Bayern, probably Real Madrid or Chelsea. Do you start to look on it and think to yourself, well, actually, you know what? Let's just go for this. Let's just put all our eggs in one basket and try and win the league. 10 games to go. We know 10 victories, 9 victories. Yep. Possibly 8 victories, and the league is ours. I mean, we're never going to have as good an opportunity as this.
Well, are we not going to have as good an opportunity?
Well,
I mean, when you look at the way this team is being structured, it's a young team. We always talked about the process. People spoke about it in a derogatory way, a lot of sarcasm. But this process, if we want to call it a process, is still on it. I wouldn't say that it's embryonic stages, but it's still in an early stages. So when you say we'll never get another chance like this, I think that's incorrect. Because I'm going to clarify that point, because the team is still young. Arteta is still young. One thing that you forget is how young Arteta is and what he's achieved in this time. I mean, you put it into perspective, is that I think he's got the most victories of any Arsenal manager ever on percentage terms. I think we're now at 59.4%. Let's put this into comparison. Arsene Wenger was at 57.2% win ratio. It's absolutely incredible. When you look at how young he is, when you put that into perspective, when you look at top 6 club managers and you take out player managers, I think there's 2 of the similar age, which is him and ABV, Andrews, I can't even pronounce it, Andrews Villas-Boas. He got sacked after the first year that he was at, first season when he was at Chelsea. This guy, he hasn't, people said he was inexperienced. People said at the time, and I go back to, it's quite relevant today with Patrick Vieira. Now, I loved Patrick Vieira as a player, and people say it's really disrespectful that Palace should have got rid of him. But when you look at the actual form, if any manager, doesn't win for 12 games in a Premier League season consecutively, you're at risk of losing your job. And when they're talking about Patrick Vieira should be the manager of Arsenal instead of Mikel Arteta, you're looking at it from purely one perspective, not experience, but the fact that Patrick Vieira was a legendary, an unbelievable captain and player for Arsenal. And that's not what makes a good manager. When you look back at some of the managers for Arsenal, some of the great managers for Arsenal, Herbert Chapman had 40 games, just 40 games, didn't have much of a league career. He hardly won any trophies, of course not. He played for Tottenham, one of his teams. George Allison was a journalist. Arsene Wenger wasn't really known as a great player. You don't choose managers based purely on their playing experience. There's so much more about it. And Arteta...
Pep weren't bad though.
Pep wasn't bad. Pep wasn't bad.
As a player and a manager.
Yeah, but I'm concentrating on what makes a great Arsenal manager. And what we have today is and it's still early days for him. It's early in his managerial process. He's the most unbelievable Arsenal manager in so many different ways, because up to now, yes, it looked like it was shaky to begin with, but it wasn't, because the difference between him, and I've said this before, him and Conte and managers like Mourinho, they were put in short-term kick. He wasn't interested in that. What he wanted was the long-term interest, long-term success. So when you say, oh yeah, we'll never have a chance like we've got this season, I don't agree with that.
You think that's why he's better than Conte then, because he's in for the long term?
He's in for the long term. He's put the foundations down. Yes, we've got a fantastic chance to win the league, but if we don't, for whatever reason, win the league this season, he's putting the foundations down for long-term success.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.